A weema whip, 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 a weema whip.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Did I come in too soon?
No, it was great.
It was good?
Yeah, it was good.
Y'all started laughing at me. What the hell?
I wasn't ready.
Okay, that's good enough.
I loved
That's
it.
good. That's awesome. Hey, what you doing? Look what you did. You made it to another episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your co-host, James Williams, followed by your host, Jeffrey F. Spain. And we've got, first of all, thank all of you who've already subscribed to us on YouTube and all the other different platforms we're on. We're up to a big old 300 subscribers. So, yay, and thank you for us. What else did you want me to tell them?
Let them know that they can email or message us about guests.
We are doing a good job on getting hosts and guests because, sometimes just forgetting what we're supposed to be doing and when we meet. But if you got any ideas for future guests, we'd love to get that information from you just so we can continue to give you this great content that we put together. This isn't easy. And, making a great guest or having a great guest on definitely makes this show worthwhile. So give us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. And speaking of guests, today we'd like to introduce to you our biggest and best friend, Mr. Spencer Askew.
What's up, guys?
How's it going, bro?
Doing really well. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you're here, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be. We got all kind of questions. Did you know that Spencer does everything in the world?
He does, and that's part of why I asked him to be on the show. There's a couple things that we have in common, music for one, jiu-jitsu for two. But, he strikes me as also the kind of guy who may be in politics later on, like maybe a powerful figure in politics.
Maybe your year.
Maybe so. It's one of those things, man. Like, part of me just doesn't want to get involved at all, and part of me is like, I think I could do better than a lot of people out there right now.
Couldn't do worse.
Yeah, couldn't do worse. That's a good point.
That's a good point.
You're tall, you're personable, you do a lot of things. That's what people like.
Probably look
do a lot
good
of
in a
things
suit
very
and a plaid
mediumly.
shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll just go down this path then with the music thing.
Yeah.
So like when you growing up around music, or is this something
Yeah.
you got into later?
It was from the time I was like 4 years old, I was going to be a musician. Like I knew it. Did my first solo at church at age 4, and was taking guitar and piano lessons by 5, and I just knew this is what I wanted to do, So like really my whole life was aimed and oriented towards becoming a musician when I got older. All throughout middle school and high school, I played in bands, was songwriting, went and studied classical music in college, studied opera and composition, which was weird because I'd never done any opera stuff, but
No sports.
well, I did sports too, but not as heavily. So
Why are you judging them?
I was just curious. What sports did you play?
I was a baseball player. That was probably what I was best at was baseball. Played catcher and first base. Played football. I was a little too nice to be a great football player at the time. Like offensive line, I didn't like to hit people, which is very, very weird. I was big. I was always, big
Gentle
and burly.
giant.
Yeah, but I just didn't like to hit people very hard.
You're a
so.
lover, not a fighter.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah.
And that's funny that now I'm in jiu-jitsu, where it's like
You're a lover and a fighter.
exactly.
I love and fighting.
But by the time I was like 14 and 15, I was like, you know what? I want to focus on music. Went off to college, did the classical music thing, got to sing at Carnegie Hall, and got to sing at, it's really, really a lot of cool stuff I got to do. But it was always Nashville for me. Was when I left college, I was going to go to Nashville. I was going to be a rock star, and that was always my goal. And so met my wife Sydney. She wanted to move to Nashville too. I was like, this is perfect. Moved here. She was working at a record label. I was doing a solo artist thing. We got involved with some like publishers and booking agents that kind of pushed us into being a duo, and then that's where it all went from there. Was
That's
me
awesome.
and Sydney on the road together.
And how did you guys meet?
I actually met her at a songwriters night in Virginia. So I was playing
Where in Virginia?
Lynchburg.
Okay, because Richmond was where I started my music
Oh,
scene.
no way.
So I
That's
was
awesome.
like trying to figure out if you were in Richmond or not.
No, I was in Lynchburg, and
So you're originally from Lynchburg?
no, I was born in Georgia, lived in Alabama for 8 years, lived in Mississippi
wow.
for 10 years, then moved to Virginia Tennessee, then Virginia, then back to Tennessee.
Good
So
Lord.
kind of been all over the South.
Yeah.
And I was singing a song called Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. It's a great song.
Excellent song.
Great song.
Excellent
And
song.
I did not know this, obviously, but it was Sydney's favorite song. I saw her in the audience, and I was like, dude, she's hot. I'm going to go meet her after this. Walked down and met her, and that was how it all began. So
Excellent, man.
Wow.
So, like,
I'm sure it wasn't hard either because, you know, Spencer, we were at a tournament a couple weeks ago, and Spencer started backing that thing up on me, and I was like, he going to marry it again. He don't get away from me.
well, you know, like we said earlier, he's tall, he's personable, and he does a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a dancer, too.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people don't know, but I'll tell the guys, listen, I was in a hip-hop dance crew in college.
Really?
And we actually won some tournaments and stuff, and competitions. There is video on the internet, but I'm not going to tell you how to find it.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
Are you the only white guy?
No, it was actually quite a few white guys.
Okay.
So
Why would you ask that, Jeff?
I was just curious.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask it. No, I'm
Well,
just-
you know, when I went to school, we had a step team, and there was always one white girl on the step team. So, you know, I just didn't know if he was the one white dude in the hip-hop group.
Was this in Georgia?
this was in Mississippi.
This was Mississippi. Oh, okay.
Okay, so the trajectory would tell me that you would never stop doing music to pursue jiu-jitsu as a career path. Now, I don't know what your end goal is, but I know leading up to when you started jiu-jitsu, like, where were you at with your music career?
Yeah. So I started jiu-jitsu in February of 2019. So 2018, the year before, I mean, I could go into the whole story if we want, but it's not. You know.
Let's do it, man. We're here.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do
what
it.
we're here for.
So we moved to Nashville. As I said, Sydney was working at a record label. I was a solo artist, released a solo record that got like a little bit of attention on Music Row, just with some publishers and with some booking agents, and started having these meetings, bringing in new songs and things like that, and we were like trying to figure out, you know, where I fit as a solo artist in the country music world. It's like country rock kind of stuff, and Sydney and I ended up doing a cover of a Civil War song called Poison and Wine.
That's a great song,
It is
too.
a great song.
Yeah.
And so, at this point, Sydney didn't want to go back in music. She had been touring in college. She was gone like 3, sometimes 4 weekends a month in a band. And so she was just kind of burnt out. But we did the song together. And another publisher heard it and was like, hey, you guys should be a duo. Because there's so many just solo white dude country singers. Like, it's going to be hard to break in the industry.
Right.
Just, you know, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And
Got to
we're-
bring something new.
Yeah, we really pushed back against that a lot. Like, we didn't want to do it because first off, we didn't want to have to work together every day. I mean, you know, when you combine like relationships and business, it can get complicated,
Yeah.
especially when it's like your wife, because you have to be willing to take criticism, and you know, especially when you're doing something like singing, where it's, you know, you have to be perfect, you know.
Yeah.
And so we really pushed back against that. But the more meetings we took, we were like, okay, let's just give it a shot. And so almost immediately, the doors started opening for us on Music Row. So we had a relationship with this publisher who had a lot of, you know, sway, had a lot of success. And she was like, you know, like, let me start setting you up some rights. And so suddenly we're in the room with #1 hit songwriters, and we're meeting radio executives and label executives and booking agents, and all these doors start opening, and it looks like we're going to be, like, they kept saying, you're the next big duo, you're the next big duo. And so we worked like that was the case, you know, and worked hard for like 3.5, 4 years with this one particular manager or publisher who was launching a record label. She brought like $20 million of investment money and was like, hey, you know, y'all are going to be the second out of the gate after the person who brought the money here. And we're like, great. So this is happening. This is finally happening. And series of circumstances, you know, it's like, we think that someone in the label didn't like us very much. We don't know why that is, but eventually the relationship kind of fractured between us and the label, and we're like, okay, we're going to do this our own way. And so this was the beginning of 2018, and all throughout 2018 we were working hard still, but we were doing it for ourselves. We were booking our own shows. We were, booking our own rights, and things were looking up. We released a record that did really well. And from there, it was like, what's next for us? But by the end of the year of 2018, we were just burnt out. We're like, this isn't the world we thought it was. This isn't the industry we thought it was going to be. So we had our biggest show yet at the end of 2018. It was a big festival out in New Mexico, like 10,000 people. We played right before Dwight Yoakam and Frankie Ballard, like two huge names in the country world.
Oh yeah.
And we were being interviewed for this local radio show after it was over. And I remember Sydney and I just kind of looked at each other, and in that moment, we both kind of realized that we were done. Wow. And like the other aspect that leads into the next part of my story was, I was really depressed that year too. So I had a really hard time getting out of bed, really hard time getting work going, and things were just really, really tough. And so we knew that we just needed to take some time. And we didn't know what that was going to look like, if we were going to continue doing the duo, if we were going to continue doing music, but we knew, at least for a little bit, we had to focus on staying healthy and, keeping our relationship healthy as well. So it was a tough but fun few years in the industry. I'm really grateful I did it, but also I'm happier now than I've ever been in my entire life. And more fulfilled. Yeah. I like music again, which is a big thing for me, because for a while after we kind of decided to take a break, I couldn't look at the guitar, I couldn't pick it up, And so now that I'm at this place now where it's fun for me, I'm writing again. I'm hoping to one day do another record in the next couple years, and so, but without the pressure of making it everything. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
So are you saying you didn't lose your love for music, you just kind of lost your taste for the, I guess, industry side of it?
Yeah. I mean, and for a while the music became really tough to make.
Yeah.
And I thought that, maybe I'm not going to be doing this anymore at all. But the love has come back, but it's love that's like decoupled from all the expectations I had for myself. And decoupled from the expectations of the industry, which honestly has been the most freeing thing for me, is having that like passion for the art again without the pressure to make it a career or to fit into a mold.
That's the place I like to stay, man.
Yeah. Man, I swear I hear that so often. Like they're like this, that's an art, and a lot of things that people enjoy tend to be arts. And when it comes to the business aspect of it, business makes things suck. Yeah. It takes a lot of the fun out of the joy that you get out of things, and the people that enjoy business are the ones that are probably the ones that are getting the fattest pockets from it.
And that's the case, man. It's like you bring in all these people that have like marketing degrees, and you put them in charge of artists who are trying to create and do something special or do something new, and a lot of times like that doesn't coincide with what makes the most money then,
or it doesn't fit in the box,
or it doesn't fit in the box, which the box is what makes money, for in the majority of the time. You'll have an artist hit that does really well, that's doing something new, and now the industry is chasing that next artist that sounds like them, that they can capitalize on 2 or 3 good songs, and then you're discarded because they sounded like the people who are already doing it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I remember we went into some of these meetings, and I'd write like this really cool blues song. I grew up in Mississippi from when I was like 12 to I was like 21, 22, but I always loved the blues. And I was told, I went in there and had this like really passionate speech about like, I want to do blues, I want there to be horns, I want to be like gospel feel, like, this kind of stuff, like this like really soulful. And they're like, well, that doesn't work on the radio. What are you doing?
Wow.
And we're like, well, and they said, if you don't want to play the game later, play the game now. And you won't have to later. Yeah. And I was like, I'll listen to you. You've had success.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years after that, Chris Stapleton hit and brought in soul, blues, horns,
all the things
all the things that I said was gonna work, But it took someone that actually did it. And one of the things that I really regret about our time in the music industry was listening to the white collar folks that don't know music but know business. Because I think it really did suck the soul out of it for us for a long time. So that's just the reality of it. The music wasn't the problem. It was the industry that puts the restrictions around the creative people that make them the money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's
Yeah.
It does, man.
Yeah.
It sucks because it's people making the decision that don't have the real vision. They want to kind of force everything to be the exact same way as
Right.
everything else. And by the end of the day, me as a consumer, I'm digesting the same thing from
Yeah.
30 different artists. And at some point, you have to hope that the consumer decides, like, I want something new. I want something different. And forget what the industry says that I should be listening to or what I should be absorbing. You have to get to a place where you say, you know what, let me see what's beyond that curtain.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
Sorry for my soapbox.
No, I love it.
I
love
hate
it.
it.
You're,
I hate it.
You're right. And that's the
And
way
I'm a
it is.
business major, and
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And it's like what's so funny is sometimes you meet those business people that also have the creative inkling. And those are the people that I feel like do it right in the industry. But it's hard to come across someone that's both like right and left brained.
Yeah.
That is willing to say, I trust the artist to do something special here.
Yeah.
Rather than what's going to make the quickest buck. Like that's just the reality of it.
I think they would have more success in those type of scenarios if they had to get both degrees.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Me, as an example, my initial degree is in graphic design. So a lot of what I do is not obviously a lot of video editing stuff, but I do a lot of graphical stuff
Yeah.
as far as like making things like these or T-shirts, any kind of graphical design type
Right.
tangible thing.
So you have that art brain as well.
Exactly. That's what I initially went to school for and grew up, couldn't get my way into the industry.
Yeah.
Could not find a job at any graphic design place or anywhere where I could actually use that talent. But to pay for school, I was working as a supervisor. So I ended up going back to school to get my business degree. So now I'm doing both sides of it,
Yeah.
but don't really do the arts aspect of it anymore. If anything, I'm just helping my wife with it when she's doing stuff.
Yeah, but you would be able to, if you were in a position
Right.
in the arts, you'd be able to say, like, at least I know that the people that are bringing in whatever it is we're trying to sell, they're the master of that.
Yes.
And now it's my job as the business mind to take their art and market in a way that's real to them, which sells.
Exactly.
So
Well, fast forward, right? You're in the arguably musicians' capital of the world now, doing jiu-jitsu. And you are not only doing jiu-jitsu, but you are competing, performing in jiu-jitsu, performing well.
Yes.
What's your, modesty aside, what is your ranking right now in your weight class, your division?
I haven't checked in a couple months, but last I checked, I was the 10th. Number 10
in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. At blue belt, blue belt heavyweight.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
ultra heavyweight.
Ultra
I'm a
heavy,
big boy.
my man.
You are the reason why I try to stay out of the ultra heavy.
It's a thick boy.
That's a thick ass boy.
So competition, man. What do you get from that? And what drove you to compete when you started jiu-jitsu? Was that why you started? Was to compete, or?
Interestingly enough, like I'd always liked jiu-jitsu, at least from what I knew about it. Like when I watched the MMA, UFC stuff, everyone like complains when people get locked up on the ground. I was like, that's cool. Like I know there's more going on there than just them laying on each other, right?
Without knowing anything,
Without
you
knowing
already
anything,
had an intuition about it.
I could see that,
Yeah.
and I could see it was like there was creativity happening, And so I had conversations with some people in like December of 2018, and they were like, dude, you should try jiu-jitsu. And I was like, okay. The more I thought about it, I was like, I know everything in the music industry was delayed gratification. And it's very hard to see like growth in a way that is measurable. And I was like, if I get into jiu-jitsu, I know that if I pour myself into this, I'm going to see immediate returns on investment. Like the amount of time I put into it, the film study, whatever it is, excuse me. I know that there will be like positive dopamine responses to what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure.
And so it's like, this will be good. Like I needed this in my life. I needed something where I was able to feel the growth. And so I was like, this is going to be my thing. Or at least I'm going to see if it's going to be my thing. So I went to go try a class, and I went out to eat with Sydney after my first class. And in my first class, a 105-pound girl took my back twice and choked me. And I was like, this is real. I have to learn it, And I told Sydney, I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I knew that after the first class, like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
That's awesome.
And so I was about 6 weeks in, and a local tournament came, and I was like, you know what? I know I don't know anything, but I'm used to performing at a high level. I want to go see how I do in this. And in conversations with like Jeremy and Fayaz and Miles, they were like, yeah, man, like, you're going to learn more off this one competition than you will from like 2 months of training. And I was like, I'm here for that. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get good. So I'm going to go compete. And I won my first match by submission, and then got just absolutely stomped the next 2 rounds. And then I did it again like 2 months later, lost all my matches, and did that several times where I just kept losing. But every time I came back from competition, I was like, I had more data and I had a better mindset. And I think being on the stage allowed me to beat that adrenaline dump really quickly. So like I was like my first couple tournaments, you have that big where everything shrinks, everything goes dark around the edges, your hands get really tight, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it was my third competition, I told my wife, I was like, my goal of this competition is not to win. I mean, always to win, right? But,
Sure.
But it's to beat the adrenaline.
Yeah.
And so I just imagined myself walking out on stage playing music. And from then I was able to dial in, and I haven't had any issues competing since.
That's awesome.
I never have an adrenaline dump. I never get jitters. I mean, I get jitters on the way to the event, on the way to the venue, and then they're gone. And I think that's part of why I've been able to compete at a high level, is because I don't get rattled anymore. But it was just a matter of like shifting that mindset from this is a fight to this is a performance, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you practice jiu-jitsu, but you have to practice competing.
Exactly.
If competing is what you want to get good at in jiu-jitsu.
And it's a different art, competing and just getting good at jiu-jitsu, because there are a ton of people who are way better at me than jiu-jitsu that don't compete as well, because it's a very different skill set.
So
but in
how
the
long
room,
have you say you've been training?
It'll be 3 years in February.
Nice. And roughly, how many times do you think you've competed?
Man, I don't even know.
You've done it nonstop.
Yeah.
Any
Especially this last
competition.
year.
Jeremy says, "This is what we're doing." I see you every time. All right,
Oh,
I'm already
Yeah.
registered.
All right, I'm already in.
Yeah, I mean, probably, I don't know, 25, 30 competitions.
That's pretty good.
But I like that you preach on the failure aspect,
Yeah.
because ultimately, how are you going to get good at anything if you don't try?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to look bad when you first start something. Everybody does, right? But you keep trudging, man. You keep going, and then look at you, and all of a sudden you're top 10 in the world and blue belt ultra heavy.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I've been a fan watching you do your thing. I remember in 2020 where we weren't really sure what jiu-jitsu was doing with the COVID stuff, and then we went to a small group of guys went to Pans in Florida. Right, it was the first time they held Pans in Florida, I think, ever. And Spencer, the day I'm driving down, because my division's like a day later, but Spencer's competing this day, and Spencer just beats everybody, competitor after competitor, and ends up winning gold. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's not pressure on me to do something here.
Yeah.
But it was just awesome, and just seeing the look on Jeremy's face, how proud he was, and it was a great experience that year, because a lot of us were scared. It was like, we're just doing this because it's, you don't know what's tomorrow's going to bring. So you're just leaving it all on the line and doing what you can to be the best you today,
Yeah, but I mean, that's a lot of what jiu-jitsu is about, just the continuous aspect of failure.
Oh, yeah.
Repeated failure until you get a measure of success. Yeah,
it's like I love that adage they say in jiu-jitsu where it's like, it's not winning and losing, it's winning and learning. It is a cliche, but it's cliche for a reason, because it's true. But it's all about your intent and your intention behind everything you do.
Yeah.
Like if you think of it as losing, you're going to get defeated internally. If you think of it as this is a chance for me to learn and get better, it becomes actually even more valuable than the wins. And I think that is what has, I try to keep that in mind. When I come across someone who in the room beats me constantly, it's like, it's not, oh man, it's not, I'm such a loser, I can't do this. It's, okay, now I know what I need to be able to win in the room with this person. And it's also going to translate into the tournaments if I face someone like with a game like this person, I'll be able to fight to the best of my ability there too.
I will ask the age-old question: gi or no gi?
Man. So here's the thing. I like them both for different reasons. If I had to choose one to train in for the rest of my life, it'd be the gi.
It's a suit of armor.
It is, and it's like I think there's, and man, I know I'm gonna get hate for it. I think there's just more opportunity for creativity in the gi.
100%.
There's like you can grab one thing, like one different grip set can lead to an entirely new system. I mean, look at like lapel guard. Look at
Oh yeah.
like the fact that there's an entire deep system based off of that grip is just proof to me that first off, jiu-jitsu is going to keep innovating forever. Like there's going to be always going to be something new. And secondly, the gi just provides my creative brain like an outlet to try new things for two reasons, because there's just more options, and also I can slow people down enough to try out those new options. Like in Nogi, I love the leg lock game, and I've really grown to like wrestling as well in Nogi, but it's so fast.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
you got to scramble.
I
You're
got to
an
move
ultra
around.
heavy guy, man.
Dude, I got to move around 265 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
like it takes a lot to like move that over and over and over.
And there's no real, unless you're this incredible open guard player, and that's reserved for more of the lighter divisions, right? Whereas in the gi, you can be a heavyweight and pull guard and surprise a lot of guys.
That's cool, because I think, I think if you have someone that's like your size, that's ahead of you in the game, when you start to kind of like take you under their wing, like for me, it was Evan,
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
I started, and Evan took me under his wing as a big guy, and he was like, try to play like a little guy. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, let's do this. So I started really focusing on open guard first, like De La Hiva, and especially De La Hiva. I love De La Hiva. Spider Lasso. Some people start calling me Bolosaurus in the gym, and because I love inverting.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I started, I was 290 pounds. And so you don't expect like a guy that's 290 pounds to be able to invert and take your back. And I went on Reddit and I was like, how does an ultra heavy win a jiu-jitsu tournament? And what everyone said was, well, don't pull guard. I was like, I'm going to pull guard every time. And so when I won pans by pulling guard in all 5 of my matches and sweeping and getting to the top. And so like that was, like for me, that was the challenge, was to play as a big guy like a little guy.
It's brilliant when you think about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's expecting to have this like King Kong
Intense
versus
wrestle
Godzilla
match.
kind of match.
Yeah. It's funny. Jeremy referred to you as a light heavyweight.
Ultra feather?
Ultra feather. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny because it's spot on. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you are spending your time on your back most of the time.
Right.
But, there's a lot of work that's happening, but you still are conserving a lot more energy on the guy on top. And trying to move 230, 60, 90 pounds around gets pretty difficult when you got somebody shoving your legs every which way.
Yeah. But it was fun for me. And so I think that all that, going back to the question, for those reasons I prefer the gi, but I don't. I love them both for different reasons, But if I had to choose one for the rest of my life, it'd be the gi.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
Gi game for life, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You know why? Because it shows that rank. Shows that rank, baby.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Jeff's got black belt socks, by the way. He wore them yesterday. Thought it was interesting. I just had to call him out on it.
I love that.
Yeah.
You earned those socks.
Yeah,
You did.
They were nice.
You could buy them on Amazon, but you still earned them.
They're comfy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and watch a video. There's a video that is just posted on the Profectus YouTube page, and it is a edited video from the black belt promotion ceremony where I received my black belt. Fayaz, Evan, Miles, all the big black belt ceremony we had this past year in 2021. Travis, everybody.
You can't start naming people and not name everybody.
Who am I missing?
You said Travis. You said Aaron.
Aaron, yeah.
Randall.
Yeah. I think that's everybody.
Yeah, Miles, the whole crew.
But anyway, we'll go ahead and just watch this real quick. And
Mike Gower.
Mike Gower.
There you go.
God, there's a lot of people got their black belt.
Full screen it, Jeff.
To me, what's most impactful and what really stands Jiu-Jitsu apart is the community. We come together from all walks of life, and we dedicate our most precious resource, which is time, to one another's improvement.
It's been a ride, and seeing how all of us have grown in different ways. It's not just your skill set that enhances, it's the way you live your
He
life.
made your speech much better than you did.
It trickles into every
That's just
aspect.
how it came out, man.
With
Super
jiu-jitsu
good.
and the relationship with jiu-jitsu is the first, few years of like those honeymoon years. You don't see all the things behind it. And he's like, man, black belt for me, is like a old relationship. Like, yeah, we sleep in different rooms, but we still love each other. Like, we don't talk, but and that's fantastic. And it's a really good way. Like, everybody has a different journey. Everyone has a different path. You have to figure that out.
The thing that's really magnificent about Jiu-Jitsu, though, is there's this other layer of support off the mats. We know how hard we work and how much we dedicate on the mats. And the visual that kind of comes to mind for me is that of the iceberg, right? The 10%
Everybody's in this
that's above
video.
the water is
I
what
know.
we're doing, is what we're doing for one another, and it's magnificent and it's
Sorry if
glory
I
and all
didn't
these
name
things. But beneath
No,
the
he's not.
waterline, there's this mass of support that is pushing us up, and that we wouldn't crest the water without.
Dude, this
without
is
that support.
awesome. Look at
The
your
reason
mom
why
and
I started
pops.
training is not the reason why I continue to train. I thought that when I first started,
You know
that
that's
a
my
world
cousin, right?
championship would make me whole.
You know that's my cousin.
The reality is
Miles.
Really?
much
Yeah,
like
I'm
the
sure.
iceberg.
We hadn't proved it yet, but we're pretty sure.
Oh, yeah,
you
y'all
guys
from the
that
same
help
area, right?
fill
Yeah.
the void, coming in and training daily and grinding away with all of my best friends. That is what has gotten me to this point.
I've always had the sport to come back to, always. Enjoy the moments of just training, like enjoy just being in a role, whether you're winning or losing, whatever's going on, like enjoy that. Find peace in that first, and then you'll find peace like everywhere else, This is just like my commitment, like it's not anything I did to get here, like none of the past that really matters for me to get here. It's just like my commitment to this sport and to forever learn it and forever explore it
Spencer, I
and
think
share
that's your
it
head right
as
That's my
much as
ear
I
right
can.
there.
It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. All of the white
nice
belts
hit.
and blue belts and people along the way have said, I always say that because you see people come in and they burn out. But it's about grinding.
He's
It's
hilarious,
learning
by the
to
way.
be uncomfortable. It's
Oh,
just
that's
learning
you
to
sweeping me,
be-
James.
I'm trying.
Look at that.
It's 260 pounds, brother.
Because we're all still human, right? We're all still here. We're trying to improve ourselves, not so much trying to be better than the next guy, right? It's good to feel that way. You want to try to be better than your partner, but in a positive way to bring them up, right?
Some words of
And so that you
wisdom.
keep pushing each other forward.
God, what a brilliant man.
Even the white belts who
What
have
did
only
you
been
say?
training for a week that think that they don't have anything to
Whisper
give
into
to
the
the room,
microphone.
they're the most important.
Back.
Sound like
It's-
Batman.
We're all bricks in a building, and it takes all of us to build the building.
I'm appreciated.
This may be
what
the last
jiu-jitsu
belt,
needs.
but it's just starting. It's very humbling and nerve-wracking.
It doesn't really matter when you get your black belt. As long as you keep training, you will most likely be a
that
black
smile.
belt longer than all your other belts combined.
Dude, let me tell you,
I'm still
I
gonna
bring
learn.
diversity if nothing else.
I've tapped the black belt, the white belt, blue belt,
That's a
blue belt,
beautiful
brown
smile,
belt,
by
black
the way.
belt,
I'm
and
pretty
now
sure- I don't
black
use it
belt,
often.
I get tapped by a black belt, brown
James
belt,
is
blue
one
belt,
of
blue
two
belt,
black
white
guys in the
belt.
entire association.
It's like 3 of us. I include Kent. He's Jamaican, but it counts.
You're learning. You put yourself in bad positions. You're helping each other out. A white belt does a perfect armbar. They do it all right, and they tap you. That's actually you should be happy for them. You should be excited for them.
As you get older, you'll get slower. You'll get more injured.
Oh, that's
You'll get,
hilarious. They show you when they talk about getting older
less time
and
to
slower.
train, your recovery time slows down. And you
Wow,
you
this
have
video
to be
is great,
humble.
though,
You
isn't
have
it?
to
It
see
is,
the
man.
progress in other people to enjoy this.
Like the
Try to
angles,
latch
really well
the
done.
to the people coming in, like the new blood,
cinematography of it is
and enjoy
beautiful.
their success. That's my advice as a black belt.
I'm gonna screen capture so many.
Over time, I hope you
all the parts
get to
of
that
me in
point
it.
in your life where you realize that
Maybe
it's
some
not
with
just
James.
about you, it's about everybody.
Such a
But I also
narcissist.
want,
He
for
can't
those
even
of you
help
who
it.
are younger and who are just starting, I want you to understand that it needs to be about you. You need to grow yourself. You need to learn about yourself. You need to figure out your path.
That was an awesome
And
day, by the
then
way.
later on, it's passing.
150 people on the mat.
It felt like it.
Guys,
Like
this is
every
your
time
journey.
we did
Make
any
the
kind of
most out
sweep,
of
we'd
it.
have to
Enjoy
just
each
stop
moment.
because me and you
Don't
are
take
so
anything
much
for
moving
granted.
meat. It's like we start
Excuses are
over
the
there,
lies
we
that
end
we
up
tell
over
ourselves.
here.
A lot of beef
Make
moving
ourselves feel
across the
better.
mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say stuff like I'm too old, I'm too busy, I'm too slow.
Columbia is a beautiful
I'm not
school,
flexible
though.
enough,
It
I'm not
is.
strong enough, I'm not good
It gives
enough.
me a lot of ideas to
Forget all
stuff
that.
I
You
want
can
to
stop
do
all the
here.
lies by telling yourself the truth about what's going on and how you're progressing. There's no shortcuts here. Enjoy the moment.
An achievement achieved here is an achievement for all. I thank you for being a part of my journey. I thank you for letting me be a part of yours.
Dad right
and
there.
I appreciate it.
That's
Evan-
awesome.
Evan's not so big anymore.
I know. Dude, I tell you what, between him and Fayez, when they tear up, man,
Dude.
oh, God, it hurts me. I can't help but follow them.
Yeah.
Woo, look at all them
Something
people.
bad enough,
Yeah.
nothing to sacrifice.
Oh, and then
There's
the bow
Kent.
at the end.
It
What a
is.
great video.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Kudos to whoever made that, dude.
Well,
that's
Jeremy produced, I mean, he made it happen. So whoever he hired to make
oh,
that
yeah.
happen,
Like,
I
because you
mean,
could have hired any kind of person to do it, but
He
to
put
get
some money
quality,
into-
that's really good.
The guy who I think who did it, he trains.
Does he really?
His name's Tyler.
Oh, so he gets it.
Yeah.
What's
He
his name?
gets it.
Tyler Barksdale, I think is his name.
Tyler Barksdale.
Shout out, Tyler.
You got some skills,
I'm
bro.
pretty sure it's Barksdale. But yeah, he's really talented. So
Yeah.
All right, we got one more video to watch. This one I just
So before you start this, let me cue it up. Like so I love searching the internet to just find the weirdest and most randomest videos. Like one time, and you know what? No, it wasn't the same guy. This is probably his son. We showed a video to Jeremy when we first started this, and the guy, it was 2 black belts, and it was the most grotesque example of a tournament ever. The guy, the black belt, went and grabbed the other black belt and just started jerking him by the gi up and down and like pushed him out of bounds a couple times. So, I thought to myself, wow, that probably is not a real black belt. And so this video came up, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen this guy, not him specifically, but somebody just like him at a tournament. So
was this could be Spencer's first match.
woo. Some energy right there.
The title of the video is "The Spazziest Spaz in Jiu-Jitsu History." Boom. Still spazzing.
It's beautiful.
At least he got to his feet.
He probably should have stayed down.
Oh.
Yes. Knee on chest.
Yeah.
Like, all you got to do is really just wait until that tires out. That is
Anyway, that's the whole
amazing.
video.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
that is.
Why are you doing this to us?
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's almost scarier than going against a guy who's skilled, right? Because
Yeah.
at least a guy who's skilled, you can kind of expect what things he's going to be doing,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody who's just wilding out, man, you're just don't get poked in the eyes. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day. It's like sometimes you roll up, like you're rolling someone better than you. You may feel like you actually do better against someone who has
Yeah.
more talent because they at least have the educated reactions to what you're doing. Someone that comes in who maybe is like super strong or super aggressive, sometimes you're like, it's just surviving. Sometimes, that was nuts.
Yeah, like my first reaction with anything like that is to pull guard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've got to get you on the ground and get you in a position where I'm safer because you are a psychopath.
Or hip toss to knee on face. Like,
Yeah,
that just happened.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
He deserved that. If his knee would have landed in that dude's grill, he would have deserved all of that knee. Like, that's your day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one of the last things I wanted to do for the episode was I wanted to challenge Spencer in a game of
paper football.
Oh.
All don't know if you remember the old school paper football that we used to do in school, right? I'm going to hold it up for the camera here. This is a self-produced.
Really nicely folded, man.
It is regulation size.
I took about 3 tries to get it this nice. You know?
I checked and I didn't Tom Brady it. It is inflated to regulation size.
And of course, I'm gonna cut in some NFL music before we get started. But also, the winner is gonna get a book.
Hey.
So it's a little bit of I don't know if you have this one
Do you
yet.
read?
I love to read.
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah. So the winner will get the book, and what we'll probably do here, James, is I'm probably gonna have you. I'm probably going to move my chair over here, so we'll just take a second and kind of reset up the cameras for a minute, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
Oos.
Sounds good.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, damn. All right.
And on this one, we have a winner by Spencer.
Hey, it's just a coin toss, man.
All right.
Shit don't matter.
I'm the ref. I'm keeping track of this.
So now I go first.
Yeah,
I get
you
3
remember
times.
how this play?
Yeah,
This,
that's
okay.
right. Okay. I get 3, right?
And you had, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Oh, you do get 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 point, and now you need to do a field goal for a half point.
Oh, we're doing halves?
Half points for the field goal.
Holy shit.
We're making this up as we go. Good thing it's just a half point. It's a little off there. All right, so now what?
I want you to start right there.
I have to start here?
Wait,
That-
don't I kick off?
Do I get
like
3?
This?
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah.
Okay,
That's right,
well,
you
yeah, we're gonna
you
kick off.
Up, yeah. Oh, okay, so now do I get 3 or just 1?
You get 3.
Do I really? 1,
Don't this up.
2.
Mm.
Oh!
Jesus.
Bounce, damn.
Well,
Spazzing. I'm the
And then you
spazziest
kick off to me.
yeah, he kicks off to you.
We'll say that's just the rules.
Hey, good job on that kickoff, Jeff. You're really winning here today.
Not great kickers here.
Yeah.
This is like
That's why we do jujitsu.
I'm gonna really need to step it up here.
I think you have to take a third one. Does he?
I don't think
No,
so.
he scored. Once he scores, he can just.
Yeah, but if he kicked it all, if he pushed too far, you know what I'm
This
saying?
is redemption.
I'm gonna go lower here.
Oh my gosh.
What's happening there?
Yeah, let me just try just for
Go ahead,
fun.
try one more time. There you go. You flicked it a little better that time.
I don't know what's happening there.
That's what she said.
All right, so now you kick off to me. Come on, big money. God,
Wow, that's a solid one.
what the hell?
So your kicker and punter are definitely 2 different people.
All right, let's see here.
That was good.
Okay, all right.
2.
What's going on there, Spain?
Man, I'm just
No flick of the bean, huh?
choking on the
I can smell the Hickey
choking
Crazy
in the.
book.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm just gonna. There we go.
All right, that's how you play. All right. Mm-hmm. That definitely crosses.
All right, well, you
So
have
right now we've got
No,
3 to
We
nothing.
scored 3. We did say to 3, but
No, let's do the 4.
you want to do the
Yeah,
4?
let's do the 4.
Okay.
Let me kick. Just I want this.
He's giving me a chance. I like it.
I'm gonna do it this way.
Oh no. Oh, that was
Yeah.
better.
Mm.
That was better. All right, now you kick off to me, right? Man, I should have practiced before.
He's got that kick down, doesn't he?
Does, man. 1, 2. Oh God, son of
But now I go from here.
a. Yeah.
Yeah.
1.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Porter Jeff Spain.
So now what do I?
I kick off.
You
to
kick off to me. Okay. Oh, still in bounds. Hit the post. 1, 2.
Oh wow. Hey.
Yeah, me. All right.
Yay me.
There you go. Check out.
I think that was good.
I
think
don't
it was
know.
That was what?
That was good.
Thank you, Spencer. He
Hey, I'm the ref.
accidentally hit you in the face
sorry.
with it too.
I'm the ref. I'm gonna look at the replay. We'll check it later.
Just pissed because of that show with Alex where they were playing.
Yeah, he cheated my ass. Like I shot this dude 75
That's
times.
1.5 points, right?
1.5
All right, now I
points.
kick off to you. What up?
You are not doing good at this.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
put those fingers up.
We'll just give you a field goal just for.
Oh.
Here, try one more time.
Oh,
I'm gonna make one.
Hey, good job.
Good job.
Excellent work, John. And,
Yeah, go on and give him that book.
there you go, sir.
Thank you
well
so
earned,
much.
man.
I
Yeah,
have
that's for
wanted
you.
to read this.
That's for
It's
you,
awesome.
my friend. I want to ask Spencer anything like social media pages you want people to follow, any projects you have going on that you want to tell people about.
Sure. I'm on Instagram. I don't use that a ton, but I post music, jiu-jitsu stuff on there, and also just finished writing my first novel. Look for that coming out this next year. It's like a fantasy, really thematic thing. It was on my bucket list. But I'm also in grad school for clinical mental health counseling. That kind of, we didn't have a time to really go into that, but that came out of my jiu-jitsu journey as well, wanting to find a way to combine jiu-jitsu with mental wellness. And so I have started a podcast with two of my buddies. We have a few episodes out. We're doing our official launch very soon. It's called the 0400 Podcast. We meet at 4 a.m. on Friday mornings.
Woo, that's early.
It is.
On a Friday. That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody at 4 a.m.
On a Friday.
It's like, for us, it kind of represented a few things, right? Like being awake while the rest of the world's asleep. Because we're talking about like philosophy, we're talking about, literature, we're talking about archetypes, and we're talking about, we talk about jiu-jitsu a lot. We talk about just mental wellness and emotional wellness. And so there's just a lot, kind of being like that watchman on the wall kind of thing. So we do it that time for that reason. Also, there's no excuse other than we'd be asleep, right? So it's like, when everyone's so busy nowadays, it's really easy to find excuses not to be somewhere. And this is something we want to prioritize. So that's why we do it then. But it's called the 0400 Podcast. We're on all the podcast things right now. Check it out if you like.
All right, guys, this has been a great episode of Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. You like how I self-proclaim it as a great episode, I'm stuttering a lot this episode, too. But you guys don't care. You guys know. Yeah, we got Spencer here. He's making me feel good about myself.
He's giving you butterflies.
It's the eye contact. It's
a lot of
strong
eye contact.
How you doing?
I'm doing really good. I hope I'm not making it awkward,
No, that's my job. I'm making it awkward. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the show, and send us a message if you have any people in the Middle Tennessee area that you know are in small business or jiu-jitsu and you'd like to see them on the show. Take care.